Once a year, Jews around the world stop eating, stop drinking, sit on the floor, and mourn a building that was destroyed almost 2,000 years ago. Why would anyone still be grieving something that happened that long ago? Stick around, because the answer says a lot about how Jews have survived everything history, otherwise known as God, has thrown at them. This day is called Tisha B'Av, literally the 9th day of the Hebrew month of Av. It's the saddest day on the Jewish calendar, and it's a full 25-hour fast. No food, no water. It's only second in intensity to Yom Kippur. But it's not just about one event. It's the day the Jewish people set aside to mourn a series of national catastrophes in our history, because almost unbelievably, an unusual number of them happened on this exact day, Tisha B'Av. It starts over 3,330 years ago. Moses sent 12 spies into the promised land, the land God promised to us. 10 of them came back with a terrifying, discouraging report. The people panicked. They lost faith, and they cried that night for nothing. God responded, "You cried for no reason. I will give you a reason to cry on this date for generations." And that's exactly what happened. The first temple in Jerusalem, the spiritual center of the Jewish world, which stood for 410 years, was burned down by the Babylonians on the 9th day of Av, 727 years after Sinai. Nearly 500 years later, the second temple, which stood for 420 years, was destroyed by the Romans, same date. Decades after that, the Bar Kokhba revolt against the ruling Roman oppressors collapsed, and the city of Beitar fell. Blood flowing in the streets. Happened, same date. Centuries later, the Jews of England were expelled in 1290, and the Jews of Spain in 1492. You guessed it, the same exact date. In more recent history, the outbreak of World War I, the precursor to World War II, also began on this exact date. It's one of history's strangest patterns, but of course, it's not strange. God orchestrated it, which is part of why this day carries so much collective weight. So how do we actually mark this day? Practically, it looks a lot like Yom Kippur. A full fast from sundown to nightfall the next day. No bathing, no leather shoes, no lotions. Many comforts of daily life are stripped away. Right before the fast begins, after a hearty meal and preparation, there's a simple, almost stark ritual meal. Bread, a hard-boiled egg dipped in ashes, eaten alone, sitting on the floor. The night of Tisha B'Av, communities gather in the synagogue, the lights are dim, the Holy Ark's curtain is removed, and we read the book of Lamentations, Eicha, one of the books of the Tanakh, and we read it out loud, verse by mournful verse. The next morning, many spend hours reciting Kinnot, sad, mournful poems, mourning not just the temples, but tragedies across Jewish history, including the Holocaust. And then something interesting happens. At midday, the mood shifts. People start sitting on regular chairs again, no longer the lower chairs. Many even clean their homes, a custom rooted in the anticipation for Mashiach's arrival. The heaviest mourning has a built-in expiration time every single year. Here's the thing. Tisha B'Av isn't simply about a building. It's also about what the building represents. It's a yearly appointment the Jewish people keep with grief and memory, one day set aside on purpose, so the other 364 days can be about moving forward. But Judaism goes one step deeper. When a farmer puts a seed into the ground, it looks like a burial. The seed decomposes. It seems to be destroyed. But it's not being buried. It's being planted. And what grows from it is far greater than the seed ever was. That's how our sages understand tragedy. And that's how we must understand tragedy. And that's why the Jewish people are still here. When the temples fell, God wasn't burying what we built. He was planting seeds. Our job isn't to drown in the sorrow. Our job is to make sure the seeds blossom into something even greater than what stood before, exactly as God intended. That's why our tradition teaches that the third temple won't be like the first two. Those were built by human hands, and human hands could destroy them. The third temple will be an eternal one. It will never be destroyed. The destruction wasn't the end of the story. It was the planting of a greater beginning. It's not a coincidence that the Torah even calls this day of mourning a moed, a festival, because the seeds of hope and rebuilding are hidden inside the sadness itself. Join millions of Jews as we remember our horrific past, all while remembering that they are the seeds for what will blossom in the future. Observe this day more than you have in the past, and reflect on how you can do more to make our future blossom more quickly.